All right, I feel like I'm here because you broke something, but either way, however you see it, 1968 Firebird convertible Project Lamborghini. Looks like a solid car. Looks like it's ready to go, right? Well, no. Biggest thing is, it's only screwed together. I've only test fitted this entire car with basically self-tapping screws to verify my fitment of all my pieces. And you've seen a few modifications in the previous videos, but very minimal mods needed. Super happy with the fitment. But there's a few things that I want to show you before we blow this thing apart that I haven't mentioned or maybe even shown in any video to this point that is a must or strongly suggest before you take this apart and consider this all test fitted. That's what we're going to show you here today. So for firewall to tail panel, we've replaced 80% of the sheet metal. Now granted, I have welded in some of this stuff, but based from the quarter panels to the back of the car minus the trunk floor, it is just screwed together temporarily. I haven't welded anything. As you can see here, I've got screws through here, got screws on that side. I have screws in the fender wells, everywhere, holding this thing together. That way I can get everything test fitted. And like I said, we verified our door gap is really close. Not gonna modify that until I get it back on the suspension. That's the only thing that haven't dialed in. Now we did a mod on this last go around, the trunk corner. I went ahead and followed suit. I'll show you here in a minute on the actual gutter. Had the same thing. Cut it, sliced it, moved it, closed it up. We're going to have to replace the trunk gutter, but that's not what we want to get in today. But here's some of the clues. Fuel door, tail light. You'll want to test fit the fuel door because this repop panel is exactly just that, repop. I've had some issues with it. So take that thing loose, mount it here, make sure it's going to line up. Now's the time to bend, file, reshape, twist, knead, change your radius or the shape if necessary. This lines up good, except for I've sandblasted it. I got some kind of weird stuff going on in it. So I may, hopefully, don't have to replace it because I've already test fitted this one to the car. But being this is original and cast, pretty safe bet they're all about the same shape. Now I can't guarantee that, but I'm feeling okay if I have to replace it. Now the other thing I've got here is the taillight lens. I'm gonna tell you right now, you should definitely test fit that. These openings aren't always perfect, especially 1969. Sometimes you got to do some modifications to that opening. And the other thing you'll see is the trunk deck is on here. It looks nice. The gap is really clean, solid. Had to do the same thing here to the driver's side. A little quick mod there, but dialed in real nice. I didn't have to do any modifications here to the top edge. Super happy with that. But I would suggest also doing this. This is my trunk key for now, but I would suggest going ahead and installing the trunk latch because I've had this whole thing cut apart, right? Again, replacement tail panel. Yes, I can measure where this goes, but if it doesn't latch and it doesn't open, it doesn't matter. So install the latch up here, install the latch on this, got it adjusted, opens it, here's my key, we'll have the fitment of it. So, tail lights. Let's grab one of these tail lights here. And this is my trunk of junk here, but my toolbox or treasure chest. But what we want to do is go ahead and just test fit the tail light in the car. Does it fit in the openings? Does it mount up the right depth? Now is the time to modify that if I need to. So I would suggest at least test fitting that. The other thing I've done is make marks. I don't like how this quarter panel is tapered this direction. I'm going to cut that line like this and come about a 30-degree angle to the back of the car. That's a little more closer, more gooder to factory. And we still have yet to install the trunk gutter, but I'm going to do that once we pull this quarter panel out of the way, and I'll show you how to pop that thing out of there and get that installed. So that's going to work out pretty nice. The other thing I've done, I've made notes here. Same thing. This is the time I need to over brake, which I've already done because I had this back off. This edge here was actually coming in too far. I showed that in a previous video. But this is the time to make these marks. So take this off one last time. Same thing here. Look for a bump. Wouldn't quite push back far enough. I had a piece, basically the wheel well was keep my quarter panel from lining up with my rocker panel. Same thing. Got that cleaned off one of the previous times off. And then basically drill holes in the bottom of the quarter panel so I can attach it to the rocker panel. But those are little notes or things you'll want to do before taking this part for the very last time. So when we put it back together and weld it, I can't take those things back out. So those are things I wanted to bring to your attention. Oh, hey, one more. Almost forgot. Convertibles only. The wheel well. My little note here. You can translate my chicken scratches. Bend out. That means once I weld the inner and the outer together, I need to bend this flange from right about here where it has a little dip all the way to where it connects right there. It needs to be folded over, laid down flat on the outer wheel housing. Like I said, convertible only. If you don't, it has some issues with the convertible top closing or damaging the vinyl. Either way, I don't know which one, or it might be both. This needs to be bent over this direction here. So once I start taking this thing apart, I'll make myself my notes why it's there. I'll go ahead and take care of that. You know, I just thought of another one right now. Trunk lock cylinder. Sometimes these holes are less than stellar. This one was actually damaged during assembly. They actually stamped this thing funny. I've been hammering and dollying it, getting it worked out, but this hole isn't quite right for the lock cylinder. So I would definitely suggest test fitting the lock cylinder in place, because I can tell you right now, this one will not slide in. It just won't fit. So the thing to do is you want to fix this now before it's, say, finished painted. I'm gonna file open. I got some kind of a note so I don't forget. What I was gonna say is you don't want to start filing on this once this is all painted or bodyworked. You start filing on that edge, you're gonna chip paint or open the surface here, an exposed edge, which is gonna cause corrosion and rust, especially where something's held against it. You're gonna cause some problems. So now is the time. That's the point of this video. Now is the time to do stuff just like this. So basically, you can even test fit the bumpers if you really wanted to. I don't typically mess with them because, well, they're chrome. They don't fit that great anyway, and it isn't normally a huge problem. Now, say if you're doing like a 69 GTO or 70 or even a second gen Burr with the Endura front bumpers, you might want to install those and test fit. That's the point of this video. You want to test fit as much as possible. I know it takes a little bit of time, but it's going to save you hours of headaches and rework or potential problems, or just get so frustrated you want to quit. And I don't want that to happen. My goal is to share good advice, good information, and steer you in the right direction to save you from those headaches and hitting your head against the wall. That's also, with that being said, I'm not going to share crap with you that's not been proven or shown with you in front of you, or I haven't done it myself. I don't like to share things that I don't feel are helpful or beneficial. That's not what's going to happen here on the Vinyl Village Garage. I'm going to share good information, proven or showing right here in front of you how it all works out. So, a little soapbox thing. But anyway, something else I'm going to share. I'm not going to give you the year. Second gen Bird maybe popping in here, the old Vinyl Village Garage. We're going to do some sheet metal work potentially on it. In that case, I will want the rear bumper because we're going to do a couple quarter panels on the rear part of the car. And get a little scheduling thing here we're going to try to iron out, but you might be seeing that coming up here soon. So I'll not be doing just first gen. Now, this is just a little side project. I won't be doing a complete overhaul. It's just doing some sheet metal work for somebody. So anyway, nonetheless, rambled on enough. Next go around, we're going to pull the passenger side quarter panel off, in and out of wheel wells, get those welded, do some videos on that, doing the trunk gutter, do some videos on that. And then we're going to start burning this thing all together, and we'll have a complete rebuilt 1968 body shell done here in the garage, proven it can be done with basic tools and a little bit of finesse. And my favorite tool, probably the ratchet strap and the hammer. So anyway, appreciate you following me on the journey here, the old Lamborghini. We'll definitely grab the camera and hope to catch you all next time.